In an earlier video, we looked at creating fillable forms using Adobe Acrobat. I want to come back to this subject. I want to create forms, but look at things in a little bit more detail and look at some of the advanced form features that Adobe Acrobat provides. And I want to create a form that requires electronic signatures, for example. So I'm just going to open up this document called survey. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to close that file, sorry. I'm going to use my tool, which is my prepare form tool. I'm going to select a file and I'm going to open up the file called survey. I'll do it that way because I want to choose this option. This document requires signatures. So I'm preparing a form, I've selected a file and I'm saying it requires signatures and I'm clicking start. Okay, so this allows me to now create a fillable form that requires signatures. Now, the first thing I want to have a look at is I want to have a look at grids. Grids are helpful when you want to line up text and objects. And so you might be a person who likes to see the grids. So to see the grids, you go to View and you go Show Hide, and you have the option of just showing the grids or the rulers and the grids here. And there is grid, and there's the shortcut key, Control U. Control U is also a way to turn on and turn off the grid. So I'm just going to click that option, and here's the grid here. If I use the shortcut key, Control U, it turns it off and turns it on. I can even right click the page and show the grid or not. So completely up to you whether you find this useful for lining things up. And you can even tell Adobe to actually snap to grid. And so that means that things will snap to the boundaries or the borders provided by the grid and line up automatically. I'm not a fan of grids, so I'm going to actually turn it off, but you may like grids. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can actually turn on rulers or not. And so I want to show, if I go to View and I go Show Hide, and rulers and grids, I can turn on the rulers, and Control R is a shortcut key to turn on rulers. And so here's my horizontal ruler and here's my vertical rulers. So some people find those useful. Control R turns them off and turns them on. The other thing that you could turn on is guides. And so I'm going to drag down from the horizontal ruler and create a guide. And that helps me line things across that guide. And if I drag down again, I can create another guide. And I can drag from the vertical ruler and create vertical guides and just pull them out. And those are things that I can line up against. I can easily delete them just by clicking on them and hitting the delete key. So you can delete your guides. And click this one and delete it. Oops. And click very carefully and delete. And click this one and delete. And this one and delete. Oops. All I've done there is actually clicked on this image. So if I click on a field, that'll put me back into context. Then if I click on a guide, I can hit delete key, click on a guide, hit the delete key, click on the guide and hit the delete key. So if that happens to you, just click back on a field and that'll sort that situation out. So you can have guides also to help you line things up. So those are a couple of the screen elements that help you work with form design, whether that be guides, whether that be grids, or whether that be rulers. I'm going to turn my ruler off.